Good evening to you. Yeah,
Good to see you. Thank you so much for waiting. Yeah, just from the association. Okay.
that's all right. Okay, no problem. All right. Uh, Let us go straight to page 33, please.
33. Okay, I will
Yeah,
share the screen. Just one sec.
yeah,
1 second. 33, right?
that's correct.
Okay.
In your book, I don't know whether it's 33 because you have got I sent the latest one. Just check 33. Which one you got?
Yeah, yeah.
Number 8.
I use yeah,
Number 8.
33. I use
Okay, put like
oh
this. Number
yes,
8.
yes, yes, yes,
Number 8.
yes. That's correct.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the one. Number 8. Okay, let us
Hmm.
concentrate on this one. This part is quite important
Mm-hmm.
uh, because this has got, as I said, this is the turning point. This is the point where the Buddha is changing the direction of that Sangha towards the calmness or the tranquility uh,
Yeah.
by, by overcoming or preventing that Chatu Dhatu or the four hurting parts, as we said, that is starting with the beginning. If you look at start with the beginning, Buddha said, Patavi Apo Tejo Vayu,
Mm.
compression, squeezing, warming up, and vibration. Now,
Yeah.
that is what we are going to eradicate from the system. We don't want that to happen. If that happens to our particles, we become different person or people. We become different people, or somebody becomes a different one. For example, say you are at a calm level. If something goes through your system like wheezing, compression, vibration, and things like that, your system changes, then you change by yourself. Anger is the best example. If somebody gets angry with someone, then the things change in the system. First the system changes, then different words or bad words are coming out of the mouth. Without changing, this system can't bring bad terms from the mouth or bad actions. So whatever comes out is based on the four items: compression, squeezing, warming up, and vibration of the particles of the system. When I say particles, all the organs of the system is undergoing that particular bad experience. So that is what Buddha is trying to prevent here for us in this entire sutra. That's why it says Yani the Bhutani Samagatani. All the inherited bhuta, those four items that I said just now, is always happening in the system at different scales. Maybe very high scale or maybe at a lower scale. Whether it's at a higher scale or lower scale, it is giving suffering. Sufferings are there. So it is important to eradicate or remove that fully, totally. That is what
Yeah.
Buddha is teaching us to do here. So, yatinda kilo pataving sito siya. Yatinda kilo. Yatinda is hidden, not to be seen, hidden. Yatinda, first
Hidden.
line. Yatinda is,
Mm.
it is hidden. It is happening without our knowledge. We don't know. Now, how many things are happening without our knowledge? Because we get angry. We don't want to get angry. It happens. So
Yes.
therefore, no one in the world wants to get angry, but it happens. That is why it is hidden here. No warning. There is no warning as such. So yatinda kilo pataving sitosya. Pataving is compression. Patavi apo tejo vayu. Now this particular verse resolves so many problems or the wrong understandings. Because people think Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo is, we are talking about what is in the world, like, the squeezing happening, warming up happening, they say it's air, the water, and all sort of things, the earth, air, the water, and so on. But this particular verse explains they are not about what is happening in the outside world, it is happening in the inside. So I just found that because there was a question from somebody about what are these for, because in books they say the water or the liquid air and the fire and so on, but it is not. Let us look at that to clarify that problem. Okay. Yatinda kilo pataving sitosya. So whatever embedded in this system, hidden, kilo means very tiny particles, like very tiny particles are sitting in our mind as what? As the residues or the remainings of the thoughts that we created during our lifetime. So some of them are sitting in the mind as small elements, tiny elements, which we can't see. If it comes out when we see the picture or the figures of the objects that we were dealing with earlier. For example, if you had an argument with somebody, if he sees that person, well, that particular tiny particle comes up. It activates in its own. If you are not taken that out. So Buddha says, number 8, such things are not happening to this Sangha now. That Sangha has realized they are hurting. So therefore, yatin the kilo pataving sitosya. So whatever elements sitting in the mind, which are starting with compression to the particles, pataving is not there. If it starts with pataving or compression, it goes from compression to squeezing, compression, squeezing to warming up, compression, squeezing, warming up to vibration. 4 items. They are cause and effect. So compression brings squeezing, compression and squeezing bring the next one warming up, then all these 3 compression, squeezing and warming up bring vibration. So those are the bhuta, 4 bhuta activating in any human being or any other being, even animals, which we have to eradicate, we have to control them, otherwise we'll get into a lot of trouble. Very, very bad results. Yeah. So that is why Buddha is aiming at this. So it says, Yatinda kilo pataving sitosya, all the bad elemental things which are sitting in the mind to come out is no more. It's not coming now to this particular person because that person has adhered to the instruction given up to verse number 7. So all the explanation is there before we discussed, which you have to look at. One is the 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are First one is the problem. Second one says to how to eradicate, promote Meththa. Then Buddha says how to become a noble person gradually, not at once, gradually. This is a gradual progress. This
Mm.
explains the gradual progress of a person. As we
Yeah.
know, we can't get into the final destination at once. We
Yes.
have to develop our skills and the know-how and the abilities, the strength, little by little. We go backwards and forwards. Doesn't matter. My aim is that. So you go little by little forward. So if you go to number 8 again, Yatinda Kilo Pataving Sito Siya. So it says Chatubbi Vatehi. Vatehi means the air. But Vatehi means air. Asampa Kampyo. So Vatehi means air, but that Vata is air, not outside, it is inside, it's going to vibrate. Now that's the point I'm trying to make. Vatehi. So don't allow
What
that.
mean? What does it mean?
Vatehi. Chatubbi Vahetehi. Chatubbi means four. Chatu means four. So the second
Mm.
line, Chatubbi is
Yeah.
four, which
Mm.
end up with Kampyo, that's vibration. So it says start with compression, Patavi, end up with vibration. So
Oh.
in between you get squeezing and warming up, which is explained earlier. So Buddha says Pataving, which is going up to vibration, is no more in this system.
Mm.
So Vatehi means that vibration. So Buddha used Vatehi. It is not air, but it is the vibration. So if you translate wrongly, you think Vatehi means air, and it is to do with outside there or inside there. No, it's the vibration. Then the next two terms explains what Vatehi means, Asampa Kampyo. So Asampa is not happening now. Kampyo means vibration. Vibration is not happening anymore. Asampa. Asampa is not activating anymore. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are talking over and over again this one. Tatupa mang tam purisang vadami. So therefore, tatupa mang means you prevent such four items now. The compression, the bhuta is tatu means four. Four are
Mm.
stopped. So
Yeah.
tatupa mang, stopped. The tatu,
Yeah.
four.
Okay.
Purisang vadami, then becoming a noble person. Becoming a noble person when you stop that. Now see, now Buddha's teaching is to the what is Buddhism. If somebody asks what is Buddhism, Buddhism is teaching us to get rid of karma. Then what happens? When once you get rid of karma, that is liking and disliking, which we discussed several times. Likings towards anything or disliking towards anything, or attraction, retraction, you know. So
Yeah.
if somebody stops that karma in simple terms, that person is not accepted by the universe. So Buddha is teaching us to become a person who will not be accepted by the universe. So become a person who is not accepted by the universe, then where to go? There is no place in the universe to take us. So
Go to heaven.
we are going to go after the death. Where we are going to go? Go nowhere. There's nowhere.
Go
Yeah.
nowhere.
That is what is called Nibbana. So
Nirvana.
if you are going nowhere, it is Nibbana. If you go somewhere, you're not at Nibbana, you are going to again start this business of suffering. So that is in essence what Buddha's teachings are based on that. Anyway, tatupamam purisang vadami. So this person is becoming a noble, respectable, noble vadami, respecting that person by him or herself. The respect goes from the person by him or herself. So tatupamam means taken out the 4 barriers. Those are the bhuta. Once you taken out the bhuta, 4 barriers, you become a supreme noble person, and you respect that state or the status of that achievement. Of that achievement, you are going to respect by yourself. Then that person is going to live with what? That person is going to live with yo Arya Satchani aveccha passati. So 4 noble truths. Arya Satcha. I said 2 sounds. Arya Satcha. That is
Arya Sacha.
Satcha. Satcha means truthful. Arya means truthfully you can stop the sufferings. Truthfully you can stop the sufferings. Arya Satcha. Aveccha passati. So that person is getting close to or being with that particular truths, 4 truths. Arya Satcha, Aveccha Passati. So getting towards or getting close to associating with that Arya Satcha, 4 noble truths. Idampi Sange Ratanam Panitam. What a wonderful situation is that, to become a Sangha in that, with that or with those qualities. With all those qualities, you need to become a Sangha with all those qualities. Or you need those qualities to become a Sangha, in other words. So number 9, please now. Here is the turning point. I am always like to go there and come back to the rest. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is 9, which we discussed last time. Then that person has got the noble person has got a method to live the life. What is that method? Arya Satcha, noble truths. So that is what that person has got now. What this person is going to do, that person is going to investigate, evaluate that particular Arya Satcha. Ye Arya Satchani vibhavayanti. Vibhavayanti means examining, assessing through his or her own system whether it's right or wrong. Then, while involving in that particular process, what is developing? Gambira Panyena Sudesitani. Gambira means great. Panyena means prajna, panya. Panya means wisdom. Wisdom is developing little by little. In that particular person's system is now turned into a source of developing the wisdom. Wisdom developing source. That particular system has become. So what a great thing to happen. Kambira Panyena Sudesitani. So it's developing that particular person's system little by little. Kambira Panyena Sudesitani. Kinchapi te, that is te. THE is te, not the. It is te. hard to
Okay.
write this. I have put this that to say that it's stay. Okay.
Mm. Yeah, okay.
Gambira Panyena Sudesitani Kinchapithe, that particular noble person, Kinchapithe, Honti, going to get the strong developing situation now. What is developing? Developing a great ability to prevent, to look after the six senses. Kinchapite honti busappa matta. Busappa matta means developing a strong ability or intellectuality not to look after the eight senses, thereby that person is, when that person reaches the eight states, the Buddha is talking about the eighth state. We discussed that, the Soan, Sakrudagami, Anagami, Arihat. I said that previously. I mentioned that.
Mm. Yeah.
So there are eight. One is, okay, where is that? That has to be above. Okay,
Okay.
so you go and look at that later, just a minute. So there are eight stages, as you know.
Mm.
I mentioned that earlier. So that
Yes.
person has uh, put the step onto that. So therefore, there are eight
Yeah.
stages. But before going to the eighth stage, that person, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Which one is that? That is under
Um,
Sotapan.
six.
Yeah, yeah.
Six.
Yeah, that's number 6. Yeah. So it's cause and effect. So here Buddha says that particular person won't go to number 8 of that. Before that,
Mm.
that person can leave the world.
Yeah.
Because number 7 is enough. Eighth one, not necessary to reach that. By that time, he has eradicated all the unwanted, hurtful elements from the system. So that is
Mm.
what says here. Na nate bhavang. Bhava means changing. Changing from one situation to another. As I said that mother who was waiting for son to come at 7 o'clock afterward. So mother's system is changing. That change is called bhava. Bhava means changing.
Ah, okay.
So every time the system is changing, that is bhava. That is why Buddha says bhava patya, jati patya, jara, marana, soka, parideva. It is in the dependent origination bhava. Bhavang is that. Bhava is sakkayiti vichikicha, no, the avidya patya, sankara patya, vijnana patya, namarup patya, salayatana patya, passa patya, vedana patya, tanna patya, bhava.
Mm.
Bhavapatya jati dara. Because when the bhava comes, when you start changing your entire system, bhavapatya jati, then you are changing, jati is changing from one state to another, jati jara. Then jara means your existing situation is deteriorating. The calmness is deteriorating. So jara, jati, jara, marana. So that will be destroyed. Or you are killing your own calmness. Marana means killing. Or it is, no more now. What is there? The hurting parts are there. The calming parts gone away. Jati, jara, marana, soka. Then comes the soka. Soka is the sorrow. Parideva. He is
Mm.
crying.
Mm.
Dukkha, dukkha is suffering, fear,
Suffering.
domanassa, upayasa, it's going to go up. Payasa, Bhavanti, the entire system is grabbed with this particular sufferings, covered with these sufferings. Payasa Sambhavanti, even me tassa, this particular person, Kevalasa Dukkhaskanda is confined to this mountainous suffering. Buddha finishes there. Aticca Samuppada ending in that manner. So here, look at the danger of bhava. So this fellow is this noble person has eradicated bhava or taken out the bhava from the system. Bhavang. So bhava, there is no bhavang. That is the 8th stage is also bhavang, but it is a better bhavang. Change is better. So you can use the bhavang for better and worse. Here Buddha used the bhavang as the best change. So person can change from bad to good or bad to worse. Both are bhavang. But it depends on the situation. So in these 8 stages, the person is changing towards good. It is not bad. So you have to realize that through this particular term bhava. So I talk about the bad part here. Buddha is talking about the good part. So nate bhavang, not the 8 stage is not there. Atti madhyanti. So it's not necessary to be reaching the 8. That person can leave the world. Idampi sange ratanam panita. What a wonderful situation that person has reached. Number 9. Okay, happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to come back and read these things again and again and again. So to consolidate, as I said. So let us move further.
Okay.
Number 10. Yeah, we'll go to number 10 today. It's a new one. Now, this person is fully equipped with strong potential to control anything comes to this system. That is called Saha Vassa Dassana Sampradaya. So this person has reached that inherited intellectual observable potential. That is a word I have used. But Buddha used Yata Bhuta Jnana Dassana. This is at the last 2 lines. Yata Bhuta or next page in this one. Yeah. So next page you have got it. Yata Bhuta Jnana Dassana. So Saha Vassa Dassana Sampadaya. This person can see everything, as they are. I said last time, when a person goes behind or in front of that person or behind or whatever, doesn't matter, in any direction, that person sees a skeleton with flesh and blood is moving here and there. So that is what that person can see through the system easily. So then also can see to a certain extent what that person is up to. So that also possibility. So the developed intellectual observable potential, that inherited intellectual observable potential. Yata bhuta jnana dassana, that is what is called Saha Vassa Dassana Sampradaya. Ayasu Dhamma Jaita Bhavantu. So this particular person has reached that, therefore has the power to contain the goods and leave the bads. So therefore is not going through this particular Sakkaya Ditti Vicikicca Silabbatangva. So Sakkaya Ditti, the 10 fetters, is not be going through that. sakkaditti vijikichitancha. So that means that person's system is not going through the 10 fetters. Sakkaditti vijikicha silabbata paramasa kamaraga patika ruparaga aruparaga manuddacha avidya, not falling into the category of dependent origination. No, this person is released from everything, the system. Then what happens to this person? Because all these things are released from the system, the 10 fetters, Chatubbi Vatei Asvampa Kampyo is the previous one. Chatupa, 4. Chatupa again in this fifth line. Chatupa Paehi Cha Vipat Mutto. Vipatta Mutto. What is that means? He is not going to be born in any type of animal. There are 4 types of animals, Buddha says. I have explained here. No legs. No legs. There are animals with no legs, like snakes. All right? You're listening to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you read that, no legs, 4 legs, there are categories, could be born as 4 categories: no legs, 2 legs, 4 legs, and multiple legs. So 2 legs are humans. So we are also included in this particular 4 categories. Chatu, chatu means 4. Chatu, papahe. Papahe means giving hurtful, outcomes to the system. Becoming an animal or human, you experience suffering. That is what Buddha says. That is what this particular verse tells us. Vimukto means vimukti. Vimukti means no more. No more. Not going to be at that particular situation anymore. Through what? Through the dasanam. That's why that person has got that ability to see the world as they are. It's a very big achievement, as you can imagine. So that noble person can see the world and see how the people are suffering, why the people are suffering, where can a person go after death. All these things can be visualized by this particular noble person. Bit of fearful situation when you think about that. To be in a situation like that is very fearful. To be born as an animal. Now, I had to explain something here which is important. Say a person is repetitively developing or promoting anger. If a person is developing or promoting anger in the system due to some other reason, always acting with anger, you have seen people like that in this world. Is that right?
Yeah, always the same.
May or may not be. Yeah. So there are a few. So Buddha says, if a person is developing anger over and over again, that is called raga, repetitively. So this raga is anger. Raga is related to this particular anger, which is a bad, very, very bad behavior, as you can imagine, which hurts everybody, not only that person. So if a person is repetitively promoting anger, when that person dies, gone from this world, when is that person passes away, where that person can be gone to, the Buddha says, that practice has to be practiced somewhere when he or she goes. So if the anger is too much, that person may or may not be, depending on the situation, the amount of anger that person has developed, go and be born as an animal, a cruel animal who can promote that anger over and over again. So there is a danger in, in producing anger. Now, where Buddha said, mentioned this thing, is in, there's another, not a sutra, it's called Dhammapada. Have you heard about Dhammapada? Dhammapada is another uh, part of the Buddha's teachings, which has got 434 verses. In one of those verses, Buddha said that animal behavior, the people with that type of behavior is going to give bad lives in the next life, bad lives. So Buddha mentioned prevent the anger. Right at the beginning of that particular, I would say, the teachings, Buddha mentioned, don't get angry for anything. Just prevent that as much as you can, because it is so dangerous. Other than any other sin,
Yeah.
producing anger is the worst that you can do to your sister. Buddha mentioned that, insisted, repeated several times not to be with anger. So important. So if you can get rid of anger, if you can ignore anger, if you can live the life with no anger, you don't have to worry about your next life. You will never become an animal. Okay? That is, then people might say, if these all people live, be born in this world are not done that. Yes, to a certain extent, but that particular time that person is born, that bad action has not been activated, maybe. But even then, Buddha never praised being a human being if that person is not promoting calmness. If a person is not promoting calmness, and if a person is promoting anger in this world, Buddha said they are similar to animals. So even if you're born as a human being, you are living as an animal. That is what Buddha said. With people with anger. So no point being a human being because your life is so sad. Always anger is going through the system. So compression, squeezing, warming and vibration is going at a terrific speed. Can't have a good life. So those are the consequences. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that we can keep in mind. Number 11, please. We'll go to number 11.
Number 11. Okay.
Yeah. So I have explained, Sakai, Vichikicha, Siddhabhata Parama, so all these things in this book, for the people, the new learners or somebody is reading this book for the first time to realize what they are. Okay, the page number 39. Page number 39. Yeah, number 11. Okay, thank you. So you have gone up to that one, which is good. So first line of that. So what will happen to this Sangha who has developed all these qualities? Effortlessly, Kinchapi saw this particular noble person, Kinchapi. You have heard about this Kinchapi in the previous one also, previous verse. So Kinchi means this person, Kinchapi, Kinchi. You know, Kinchi sound. All right. So remember that one, please. Kinchapi. Now see number 9, Kinchapi. Hey,
Punjabi.
here number 9 also Kinchapi is there. Here also Kinchapi.
Yeah.
It says number 9 is Kinchapi the. Here says Kinchapi so. So it's
Yeah.
only the difference is so and the. Okay,
Mm.
Kinchapi. This, so means so much of, qualities, developed person or noble person. So many things developed. Kinchapi so. What happens to this person? Kamma means the actions. Actions, papakam. Papa means unwholesome. No unwholesome actions are taking place. Karoti. So this person is not involving any unwholesome actions now. Either knowingly or unknowingly. It's not happening without or with knowingly.
Mm.
Kinchapi so kammang karoti papaka. Kayena vacha udacheta sava. That actions are generally happening in 3 ways. One is you do action. When you think something, that is also action. When you talk also, that is action. So chitta sava means you are thinking, you are talking, you are
Okay.
doing the action by your body. So all these 3 modes of actions are not happening in this person system with or with harmful levels. No
Mm.
harmful levels are there. All are happening to help the others. No harmful situations are occurring in this particular system. So if I read that again, Inchapiso kammang karoti papakam, the hurtful situations are not happening in this system either by action from the body or the words or thinking. So thinking pattern is clear or purified thinking pattern. Talking words are very soft, soothing words. The listeners get calmness, no anger at all. Kaya. So
Mm.
it's 3 modes of actions. Kayena vacha. Have you heard about kaya vacha chittena? That's the Buddha's terms again. So that is exactly what is given here. Kaya vacha chittena. Kaya vacha
What
chittena.
what does it mean? I forgot. Sorry.
Kaya means the action. Now see,
Mm.
action comes first. Now see, when we
Okay.
see something, our system changes. That is an action.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
we
yeah.
then we think. People say we think and do various things. No. Buddha says first the body changes, then you talk to yourself, then you think. Why? Now see, a person, say example is a person who is killing another person.
Mm.
Has that person thought about it? No. Who did it? That person's system says to kill. That person's system brought up with anger. That anger attacks the particles. The particles gives the message or the signal to kill that person. So particle
Yeah.
get disturbed. So that person, carry out that action, killing another person. Then, then you have seen a lot of people once they do that, they uh, get fully upset and they
Mm.
go to the courts and say, I didn't know that, I have done such a bad thing. So, vacha, chittena, then only that person, that's called confession. Confession is
Yeah.
coming after doing the
Yeah.
action.
Yes.
There is no confession if that person thought about it earlier before doing the action. So that
Mm.
is so dangerous. We have got a system where we have no control because it does the work, it does the action, then only think. That is pretty bad system we have got. That's why Buddha said be careful. But this system doesn't think before doing something. It does something and then think.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Kaya vacha chittena. All
Oh.
right. Okay, that's
Yeah.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
very strong message is given by Buddha here. So those things
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
not happening to this person anymore, which is quite he's a very lucky person, I would say. Nothing happening like that. Now this thing we can look at in detail. Kinchapi so kammang karoti papakang කායේ වාචා උදචේතසාවා අබබ්බෝ සෝ තත්ත තස්ස පටිච්චාදාය අබබ්බෝ so. It is explained in the explanation here. Patichadaya. So it's looking after. Now see, this person, tassa means this person, tassa. Kinchapi also person. Tassa also this is used for person by Buddha. Now see,
Mm.
if you look at the explanation that I given here, noble person is Kinchapi. So Tassa is this person has come to know the influence of the environment towards one's own system does not have in way to allow one's own system to undergo any changes. So this person has prevented any changes happening to the system. That is what the next two lines says. So no particle changing in the system. So
No
that
package
person
system.
realizes that my system is not changing anymore now. So that's called
Mm.
realization situation.
Realization situation.
Realization after the system doesn't work to bring about unwholesome actions.
Oh.
Therefore, that person's actions, words, and the thinking pattern has been gone towards calmness fully. So
Mm.
thereby, this person realizes ababbo sotassa patichadaya.
Oh.
This person, him or herself realizes that the system has overcome the things that had earlier to change from one state to another. So there is no change anymore. That is what the next two lines are explaining. In all, in all, no hurtful things are happening in this system, and that person is carrying out actions, talking, and thinking patterns have come to a stage of calmness, and thereby that person realizes my system has become very peaceful and harmful.
Mm.
That is what it says. So that's a great achievement. That's why it says, Idampi Sange Ratanam Panita. Now, still the Sange. How many Sanges are there? That is another quality.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll touch number 12 and come back to these things again. Number 12, I'll touch because then 13, 14, it finishes maybe tomorrow. Then we have to
Mm.
repeat this sutra several times to consolidate, as I said. Now, Buddha is giving a nice example here in number 12. Okay, let us look at that. That's a very interesting one. So, Buddha said, now this person has realized the bad parts and he has cleared the system totally, realizes nothing is there now to hurt him or her, and there is a way of living with uh, Four Noble Truths as we discussed in the previous verse, and examining that all the time through the system itself. Now, number 12 says, quite interesting one. Such people won't arise suddenly. That's what Buddha says. Vanappa gubbe yata pussitagge gimmana mase patamasmin gimme. Now Buddha is giving an example what is happening in the outside. Talking about flowers. It's better to read that. As we all know, all of a sudden flower won't blossom in the jungle or forest. It won't come, flowers won't come up all of a sudden. There should be a reason for that. However, such blossoming occurs according to a particular sequential pattern of events in the environment. So you need water, you need the sunlight, you need the right climate, all those things to flowers to come out. During that
Yeah.
hot summer, such events do not occur because the earth surface or the plain is excessively hot. So hot
Yeah.
day, yeah,
Too hot.
I just as flower bloom in the forest, if a person inclines and adheres to the policy of neutrality or impartiality. So Buddha says, if you feed that, plant well with the right temperature, right amount of water, and so on and so forth, that plant brings flowers to us.
Yes.
Similarly, Buddha is giving an example. Similarly, if a person is bringing up all these, things or adhering to the policy of neutrality, little by little, that person is going to blossom. That means what is blossom is bliss of Nibbana. Thus, this supreme, pure, and compassionate, noble human being is actively leading the life towards bliss of Nibbana. So, on the 12th verse, Buddha is encouraging that particular person to think
Mm.
on those lines because Buddha comparing that achievement as a flower. But a
Yeah.
lot of people like the flowers, not to get
Mm.
attached to that, but they they feel better when they see a flower. So that's why Buddha has, I believe, said that. To do that, Buddha says, what are the things this person to be fed with? Seven
Mm.
factors of enlightenment have to be fed. So
Ah.
seven factors of enlightenment is coming through this particular person now. Buddha says, this person is fully equipped with this, fed with all these important items like a flower. Now, this life is with 7 factors of enlightenment. That is what this particular verse says. Now, very briefly, so it's Vanappa Gubbe, Yatapi Sagge, Gimmana Mase, Patamasmin Gimme, Tathumpa Dhamma Varang Adesai, Nibbana Gami Paramang Hitaya. Those are the 4 terms in number 12. We'll come to that again. Don't worry. Okay, I just read it. So these are the 4 things, and it is explained here. I went fast. Sorry about that. Anyway, so what it says is, like the flowers blossoming in the outside, they need the right temperature, right amount of water, sunlight, you name everything. You know, the soil must be in that situation, fertile soil or whatever you call it. So that, if those things are satisfied, only the real flower comes up. Otherwise you get, small flowers, not very strong flowers, but real flowers are coming when everything is done properly. Similarly, this person is going to get 7 factors of enlightenment. Now they are all, by the Buddha says, I just want to explain the terms given here. Sapta Bojjanga Dhamma. It is written there, Sapta Bojjanga Dhamma. Just be with those 3 terms, please. Sapta Bojjanga Dhamma. I'm going to explain what they are. Sapta Bojjanga Dhamma. Yeah, it's that page.
This one. This one?
Top there. No, that is Sati. That's right. Yeah. So Sapta is 7. Sapta means 7. 7. So all 7 are explained underneath. We'll come to that later tomorrow. I'm not going to explain them now. I'm going to explain the heading. Sapta Bojjanga Dhamma. What that means. Because if you don't know what Sapta Bojjanga means, Dhamma means, so you can't figure out what these 7 are. So you need to understand what that means, given by the Buddha. I prefer to use Sapta Bojjanga Dharma rather than 7 factors of enlightenment. It doesn't tally with that. When I explain this, you can see whether 7 factors of enlightenment tallies with Sapta Bojjanga Dhamma. I don't know. It doesn't give the right meaning. Anyway, let us explain this slowly. 7 is 7. Oh, okay, English also 7, yes. But Bojjanga means, what is Bojjanga? Bojjanga, 2 sounds. Bojjanga. You can see Bojjanga. Yeah, Bojjanga. Bojjanga. Easy to read. Bojjanga. Next one is Dhamma, which is easy. So Bojjanga. Bojjanga. Boj, B-O-J, Boj, J-A-N-G-O. Janga. You can break it into 2 if you like. 2 sounds.
Yeah.
Boj means to promote intellectuality, or it is confined. These things are confined to become a person with intellectuality. These are confined. They are confined. 7 items are confined. They are related to. They are related to. They are confined to. They are based on this intellectuality. Therefore, in other words, therefore, development of intellectuality. They are theirs, not anybody else's. It is for intellectuality. Boj. Anga means the factors. Anga.
Anger. Anger.
Now,
okay.
They are related to intellectuality. That particular part is not coming from that English term. 7 factors of enlightenment. It is not enlightenment. It is called the development of intellectuality, and it should be always there in that system, because when a person has the reached the supreme noble intellectuality state, that those 7 factors are always working in that system, that they are confined to that particular intellectuality. I believe you can understand what I'm talking about. They are
Yes,
all there with
almost.
that person. In other words, always using this bojjhanga. Why?
Mm.
That intellectual person cannot use any other thing in the life. So they are confined. They are very well placed in that particular intellectual person's system.
Yes.
I explain in very many ways to make sure you understand. So
Yes,
Dhamma
yes.
is, what is Dhamma? To bring the speed to the level of upekka or equanimity, to bring down the Dhamma. So they are called Dhamma. In this particular
Yeah.
case, the Dhamma is to bring down
Mm.
the system to that particular state. So it's reduce the high speeds.
Yes.
The state of the
That's
system
it.
is said to be that. So since the 7 system operates in impartially and neutrally, nothing is contained in the system of this person to produce high speeds within, as in the past. Then the state of the system is said to be Dhamma Vichaya. So that's explaining one of the factors, but don't worry about that. But it is to maintain, if you look at overall all 7, is maintaining the speed of impartiality. Okay?
Yeah.
So you understood Sapta Bojjhanga Dhamma. Even if you
Mm.
hear the term 7 factors of enlightenment, you should get this particular meaning into your mind.
Yeah,
Sapta
okay.
Bojjhanga Dhamma, not 7 factors of enlightenment. Then you think there are 7 factors to get the final goal. Yes, that's correct. But they are confined to that person's intellectuality. That's the important point to make here.
Mm.
So that person knows they are confined to this particular level.
Yeah,
Whenever
yeah, yeah.
whenever that person is doing, as we say, kai vacha chittena, actions, thinking, talking, always these 7 things are helping to calm down the system. All right. So,
Yeah, yeah.
any questions? Anything? If you have, please. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. We can get the meaning. We can get it.
Yeah, because
Uh,
you should get the meaning.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Our body. Somebody is writing. That is squeezing. I'm happy with that, because that particular verse is explaining that very clearly. Vate. Now, vata is no kampana. That means no vibration. That is what it says. So, well, we have come to number 12, 13, 14. So, maybe tomorrow we'll go to 13 and 14. Okay?
Mm.
Then that
Okay.
finish, yeah, then that finishes the, yeah, that's not a big deal, 13 and 14. It's pretty easy to understand. These have got the explanation of various things, like 10 fetters are explained, the 7 factors of enlightenment called in English, but Sapta Bojjanga Dhamma, what they are. So those are some of the things that you have to read. Uh, but
Yeah.
I'm going to explain them. So if you
Yeah.
read
Okay.
all these things, these 3 sutras, you are well equipped with the entire Buddha's teachings. You know a lot of things.
Yes.
Yes, you are very well, equipped. That's good, isn't it? So you are learning a lot through this.
'Cause, yeah, we
There's
just learned from very early age as well. But
really,
yeah,
that's good. Yeah,
thank
I
you.
learned about I learned these things correctly about 20 years ago. So when I
Yeah.
was maybe 50, now I'm 76. It's about 50, 55 or something like that. So now it's too old to learn that at 55. But I learned, anyway. Uh, I would have
Yeah,
learned these things
learning.
at year 25, 30 would be nice anyway. So that is how it happened.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Just like the real Sangha. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. If you're happy
Hey,
with that, okay, all the
very
best.
happy with that.
Yeah, if you're happy with that, then we'll discuss tomorrow and bring your
Okay.
questions. If you have got questions, please bring them. Please bring them. I
Okay.
love questions.
Okay. We
When you have
will.
a
Yeah.
question, yeah, we can broaden our knowledge. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
All the
yeah,
best.
yeah. Thank you. Good
Okay.
night.
Good night, and yeah, thank you very much. All the best.
All the best.
Yeah. All the best.